Don't you worry yourself over what you cannot control. Sit a moment, take a deep breath, and let your heart find its rhythm again. The storms of life may roar outside your window, but inside, you can create a quiet sanctuary. Yes, the world may feel heavy and the burdens you carry may press upon you as if they will never lift, but listen closely. Listen with the ears of your soul, not just the ears of your body. God is at work, even when the hours seem long and the nights too dark. Even when you feel abandoned, even when the weight of disappointment threatens to crush you. And know this, your situation is not permanent. The winds will change, the sun will shine again, and God's hand will move in ways that your eyes have not yet seen. I know you feel the tension deep in your bones. I know the worry sits in your chest like a heavy stone. It makes you restless in your sleep and steals the sweetness from your days. But oh, my dear, don't let it. Stress is a thief that comes quietly, disguised as concern, masquerading as responsibility. It whispers lies that tell you must carry it all alone, that you must solve every problem with your own strength. But you were not made to bear the weight of the world alone. There is a power greater than any human hand, a wisdom beyond human understanding, and that power is already working on your behalf. It does not sleep, it does not falter, it does not forget. It is steady, unshakable, and faithful, and it is moving for you, even when you cannot yet see the evidence. Remember the times in your life when you thought you could not go on, when despair knocked at your door, and yet you found yourself here still standing. Those were not mere accidents, those were signs of divine care. God has been guiding you all along. Each step you took, even the missteps, were steps toward a greater understanding. Each tear you shed watered the soil of your heart, preparing it for the harvest of joy that is coming. Your life is a story, and every chapter, even the painful ones, have meaning. Do not rush. Do not try to force the ending. God's timing is perfect, and the resolution of your struggle is already being prepared. Patience is not passive. It is a powerful trust that the universe is aligned in your favor. When stress comes, do not fight it with fear. Do not wrestle with anxiety as if it were an enemy to be conquered with brute force. Instead, breathe. Let your spirit rise above the noise. Let your heart sing its quiet song of faith. Speak to yourself gently. Tell yourself, I will not be defeated by worry. I will not be shaken by fear. God will see me through this. And then watch as the world begins to shift. Watch as doors open that were once closed, as paths appear where there were none, as solutions that seemed impossible become visible and attainable. It may not happen instantly, but it will happen surely. Every small step you take in trust, every act of faith, brings you closer to the answer. I want you to think about the lilies of the field, how they neither toil nor spin, and yet they are clothed with beauty more exquisite than any king's wardrobe. You are more precious than lilies. You are more loved, more watched over, more cared for than you often allow yourself to believe. Stress tells you that you must fix everything, that you must have all the answers, that you must control the uncontrollable. But faith reminds you that the hands of the divine are already at work. What seems like delay is not denial. What seems like silence is not abandonment. What seems like inaction is preparation. Trust the unseen movement. Trust the quiet orchestration. Trust that your prayers, whispered in the night, are not lost but are heard, acknowledged, and already set in motion. And oh, the beauty of surrender! Do not mistake surrender for weakness. Surrender is strength wrapped in humility. Surrender is courage coated with grace. When you release the need to manage every outcome, when you let go of the obsession with control, something miraculous happens. You create space for miracles. You invite solutions that are greater than anything you could invent on your own. You open your heart to wisdom that is higher, sharper, and more precise than any human mind. You allow God to step in and do what you cannot do alone. Surrender is not the end. It is the beginning of freedom, the doorway to peace, the seedbed of hope. I know it is difficult. I know the nights can feel long and the mind restless and the heart heavy. But even in the darkness, stars are shining. Even in the valley, rivers are flowing. Even in the silence, angels are singing. You may not hear them with your ears, but your soul knows their song. And that song is always telling you, do not stress. The situation will be resolved. I am with you. Let your heart rest in that truth. Let your mind be still. Let your soul breathe. You are not abandoned, you are not forgotten, and you are not powerless. You are held. You are guided. You are loved, and everything will work out for your good in ways that exceed your imagination. So when fear knocks at your door, greet it with calm. When anxiety tries to pull you under, rise above it with faith. When the pressure threatens to break you, remember pressure is the catalyst for diamonds. Your trials, your struggles, your burdens, they are shaping you, refining you, strengthening you. They are not forever. They are temporary, fleeting, and their end is near. God's timing is flawless. God's wisdom is perfect. God's love is endless. There is nothing that can resist the power of that love. No problem too big, no challenge too great, no sorrow too deep. All will pass. All will be resolved. All will be turned for your good. And when the resolution comes, and it will come, you will look back and marvel at the journey. You will see how every step, every tear, every moment of fear was necessary. You will see how each trial taught you resilience, patience, and faith. You will understand the depth of your own strength, the vastness of your own courage, and the unshakable support of the divine. You will be grateful not just for the end of the struggle, but for the growth it brought you. And in that moment, you will know the truth of these words. Do not stress, for God will solve your situation soon. So walk through life with your head held high and your heart open. Speak words of hope even when your soul trembles. Offer kindness even when it seems undeserved. Move forward even when the path is unclear. Keep faith alive in your heart. Keep patience as your companion. Keep trust as your guide. And remember above all else that the divine is already at work. Your problems are being solved, your burdens lightened, your path illuminated. You will see it. You will feel it. You will live it. And it will be more beautiful than you ever imagined. Do not stress, my dear one. Lay down the weight. Let go of the worry. Release the anxiety. Step into the peace that has always been waiting for you. Step into the knowledge that your life is held in the hands of a power that never fails. Step into the faith that moves mountains, parts seas, and makes a way where there seems to be no way. Your situation is temporary. Your struggles are temporary. Your pain is temporary. The solutions are coming. The blessings are on the way. The deliverance is at hand. And all you must do is trust, wait, and keep moving forward with courage and grace. And when the sun rises tomorrow, may it remind you that every day is a chance to let go of stress and embrace faith. May the wind whisper to you that your burdens are being lifted. May your heart beat with the rhythm of hope. May your soul dance with the joy of knowing that you are never alone, that you are always guided, that you are always loved. Do not stress. Do not despair. God will solve your situation soon. And when it happens, oh, when it happens, you will see that every moment of waiting was worth it. Every tear shed was a preparation, and every heartbeat was a step toward the beauty that is coming into your life. Worry has a way of creeping into our hearts, a quiet intruder that sits on our shoulders and whispers that we are not enough, that we must solve every problem on our own, that the weight of the world rests solely in our hands. It is relentless, insidious, and exhausting, but it is not the truth. The truth is that there is a force far greater than our understanding, a power that moves with perfect wisdom and unwavering care. When we hold tightly to worry, we block the flow of that power. We close the doors of our hearts, we tighten our fists against hope, and we blind ourselves to the gentle nudges and subtle guidance that are always being offered to us. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of courage. It is a declaration that we will no longer allow fear to dictate the movements of our lives. It is a choice to step back, to breathe deeply, and to say, I trust that this situation is not mine to carry alone. To make room for divine guidance, we must first clear the clutter of our minds. We must release the endless what-ifs, the imagined catastrophes, the looping fears that trap us in circles of anxiety. Each thought of worry takes up space in our consciousness, leaving less room for inspiration, for intuition, for the quiet voice that whispers solutions in the stillness. When we release worry, we create a sacred space where answers can emerge. We allow ourselves to see clearly, to listen deeply, and to feel the gentle push of direction that often comes in ways we least expect. It may come as a sudden idea in the middle of the night, as a word from a friend, as a chance encounter that changes everything, or as a calm certainty in the pit of our stomachs. These are the ways divine guidance speaks, and we can only hear them when we stop drowning our hearts in the noise of our fears. Letting go also means embracing patience. We are conditioned to want immediate results, to see the solution before the struggle has had time to work its magic, to grasp control tightly because we fear the unknown. But the unknown is not empty. It is a space where miracles gather, where plans are woven, and where timing is perfected beyond our comprehension. When we surrender our need to manipulate outcomes, we invite a quiet confidence to settle over us, a sense that even if we do not yet see the path, it is being prepared. Our role is not to carry everything, but to move forward with trust, to take steps with faith in our hearts, and to remain open to the possibilities that are already forming for us. Worry may knock at the door, it may demand our attention, but we do not have to answer. We do not have to let it in. We can meet it with a deep breath, a whispered prayer, and the knowledge that we are not alone. By releasing worry, we create space for guidance to flow freely, and we allow our lives to align with a plan that is greater than anything we could imagine. When we let go, we make room for miracles, for clarity, and for the gentle hand that is always moving on our behalf. Stress is a heavy cloak that we wrap around ourselves, believing that it will somehow push the world into submission, that our frantic energy can bend circumstances to our will. We pace the floors of our minds, we toss and turn in restless nights. We replay every worry as if by sheer repetition we can make it vanish. But the truth is that stress accomplishes nothing that faith cannot achieve. Stress wears us down, it clouds our vision, it drains the very life from our hearts. Faith, however, is a quiet force that works steadily and without resistance. It moves with purpose, unseen yet powerful enough to shift mountains, to open doors and to turn impossibilities into realities. When we choose faith over stress, we stop exhausting ourselves in endless battle with what is already being taken care of. We align ourselves with the current of life instead of struggling against it, and in that alignment we find peace, clarity, and the gentle unfolding of solutions. Stress makes us think that we must control every detail, that we must anticipate every outcome, that we are alone in carrying the weight of the world. Faith, on the other hand, reminds us that we are never alone. There is a force beyond comprehension guiding each step, moving each piece into its proper place, orchestrating events in ways that our limited minds cannot always see. When we surrender our need to micromanage life, we create space for that force to work unhindered. The burdens we try to shoulder with frantic effort become lighter when we trust that they are already being carried. Faith does not demand that we understand the how or the when. It only asks that we believe, that we keep moving forward with hope in our hearts, and that we allow the unseen hand to guide us. Every time stress knocks at the door, we have a choice. We can let it in, let it consume us, and allow it to steal our joy, our peace, and our clarity. Or we can greet it with the quiet confidence of faith, the knowledge that the challenges we face are already in the care of something greater than ourselves. Faith does not ignore reality. It does not pretend that difficulties do not exist. It sees them, acknowledges them, and then rises above them with a trust that cannot be shaken by fear or doubt. Stress fights against life, but faith cooperates with it. Faith lifts us above the chaos, giving us the perspective to see the paths that were invisible while we were entangled in worry. Faith works quietly, persistently, and without fanfare. It does not scream for attention or demand proof. It moves in the silence of our hearts, in the patience of our waiting, in the moments when we choose to breathe rather than panic. Each prayer whispered, each breath taken with trust, each step made in hope, strengthens the current of divine guidance flowing through our lives. When we allow faith to take the lead, stress loses its grip. What once seemed overwhelming begins to unravel, and we see that the solution was already being arranged, the answer already on its way, long before our anxious minds became aware of it. Faith does not rush, it does not tire, it does not falter, and it cannot be defeated. Patience is a word we often misunderstand. We think it means to sit idly, to endure without action, to wait for time to pass while we hope for change. But true patience is far deeper than mere waiting. It is the art of trusting the process, of believing in the unseen unfolding of life's design, of knowing that every step, every struggle, every moment of delay is purposeful. Life does not move in the hurried patterns of our desires. It moves with precision, with timing that we cannot always predict, and with wisdom that surpasses our understanding. When we embrace patience, we step into alignment with this greater rhythm, and in that alignment we find peace, clarity, and the courage to continue. We live in a world that values speed, immediacy, and instant results. We are taught to solve problems quickly, to achieve goals rapidly, to push forward with relentless urgency. And yet life does not always respond to our schedules. Some answers take time to appear. Some blessings must mature in silence. Some solutions require preparation that we cannot see. Patience is the awareness that the timing of life is not arbitrary, that the universe or God or the unseen hand guiding us is moving every piece with intent, and that our role is not to force the pace but to trust it. To trust the process is to acknowledge that delay is not denial, that waiting is not failure, and that the unfolding of events is already moving toward our highest good. Patience allows us to release the tension that comes from trying to control everything. When we stop wrestling with the clock, with circumstances, with outcomes, we create space for insight, for intuition, and for guidance that would otherwise be drowned out by our anxiety. We learn to listen to the whispers of wisdom, to recognize the signs that point the way, and to follow the currents of life with a steady heart. Every pause, every moment of stillness, every breath taken with trust strengthens our connection to the process that is already working on our behalf. Patience is active, not passive. It requires courage, faith, and a willingness to surrender the illusion of control. The beauty of patience is that it transforms waiting into growth. While we wait, our hearts are refined, our minds are sharpened, our souls are strengthened. The lessons that we learn in the quiet moments, in the spaces between struggle and resolution, are the lessons that prepare us to receive the blessings that are coming. Without patience, we might rush into solutions that are incomplete, choices that are premature, or paths that are not meant for us. But with patience, we walk deliberately, thoughtfully, and with an awareness that every step is meaningful. To trust the process is to trust that the delays, the detours, and the setbacks are all shaping the journey, not obstructing it. It is to believe that the challenges are not random, that the obstacles are not permanent, and that the outcomes are already being arranged in ways that exceed our imagination. Patience is a quiet faith that whispers in our hearts, "Do not worry about the timing. Do not fret about the unknown. Everything is unfolding exactly as it should." When we embrace this truth, we discover that waiting is not empty, that pauses are not wasted, and that the process itself is a teacher, guiding us toward the resolution that is already on its way. Struggle is not a punishment, it is a teacher. It enters our lives unannounced, sometimes harsh and unwelcome, yet it carries with it lessons that no comfort can ever provide. When we face difficulties, when the weight of life presses upon us, it is easy to despair, to ask why, to feel abandoned. But in truth, every struggle is shaping us, molding us, preparing us for blessings that we cannot yet see. The challenges you face today are not meaningless. The hardships, the disappointments, the moments of sorrow, they are the forges in which your strength, resilience, and wisdom are tempered. Without struggle, there is no depth, no understanding, no capacity to truly appreciate the goodness that awaits. Each trial is a sculptor, carving patience into our hearts, humility into our spirits, and courage into our minds. When we stumble and fall, when we cry and question, we are being refined. The difficulties do not define us, they reveal us, uncovering the layers of our character that were hidden beneath ease and comfort. The ache of struggle sharpens our awareness, opens our hearts to compassion, and stretches our capacity to endure and to hope. It teaches us to hold faith even when the path is unclear, to trust even when the outcome is uncertain, and to rise again and again when circumstances seem to push us down. Struggle is also a reminder of the divine orchestration in our lives. The universe does not abandon us to hardship without purpose. There is a timing, a wisdom, a plan that is greater than our understanding. Every trial has a season, every difficulty has a reason, and every obstacle carries the seeds of transformation. What feels like a barrier today may be the bridge to a blessing tomorrow. What feels like an ending may be the threshold to a new beginning. When we can see beyond the immediate discomfort, when we can trust that there is meaning in the struggle, we open ourselves to the miracles that lie ahead. Moreover, struggle teaches gratitude. When life is easy, we may take blessings for granted, unaware of their value. But when we have walked through fire, when we have felt loss, when we have faced adversity, we learn to recognize the beauty of what we have, the significance of the victories, and the sweetness of moments that once seemed ordinary. Each hardship deepens our capacity to appreciate joy, love, and peace. Each challenge strengthens our faith that what is meant for us cannot be taken away, that what is coming will be more meaningful, because we have been prepared to receive it. Every struggle is shaping you, whether you see it or not. It is building the foundation for blessings that surpass your expectations. The heartache, the setbacks, the obstacles, they are not the end of your story. They are the preparation, the rehearsal, the training ground for the life that is unfolding before you. And as you walk through these moments with courage, patience, and trust, you are becoming ready for the gifts that are waiting, gifts that could not have arrived without the shaping power of the struggles you have endured. Surrender is often misunderstood. In a world that prizes control, power, and self-reliance, surrender can seem like weakness. We think that to surrender is to give up, to admit defeat, to relinquish our influence over the course of our lives. But true surrender is not the absence of strength, it is the highest expression of it. It is the conscious decision to release the illusion that we can manage every twist, every turn, every outcome. Surrender is the recognition that there is a power greater than our own, a wisdom beyond our understanding, and a timing that is perfect, even when we cannot yet see it. When we surrender, we open doors that control could never unlock, doors to blessings, solutions, and possibilities that were always meant to reach us, but were blocked by our own tight grasp. Control is an illusion that comes with a heavy price. We clutch it desperately, trying to shape the future with our hands, to dictate how events should unfold, to protect ourselves from disappointment and pain. And yet, the tighter we hold, the more we miss the subtle, quiet movements of life that are guiding us toward what is truly best. Control narrows our vision, it clouds our judgment, it blinds us to the miracles that are being prepared. Surrender, on the other hand, widens our perspective. It allows us to step back and observe the flow of life, to recognize the patterns, the opportunities, and the unseen hands at work in our favor. When we let go of the need to control, we make space for insight, for clarity, and for the gentle guidance that whispers in moments of stillness, reminding us that we are never alone, that our journey is already being orchestrated, and that everything is unfolding as it should. Surrender requires trust, and trust is cultivated in the quiet moments of reflection. It grows when we stop striving against the current and allow ourselves to float in the stream of life, confident that we are being carried to the right place at the right time. It deepens when we acknowledge that our perspective is limited, that we cannot see the entire tapestry of our lives, and that what may seem like a setback today is often the precursor to a blessing we could not have imagined. Surrender is an act of faith, a recognition that we are part of something larger than ourselves, a willingness to let go of our own timelines and agendas, and a commitment to walk forward with patience and openness, knowing that the doors we need to pass through will appear when we are ready to enter. One of the most profound lessons of surrender is that it teaches us humility. Humility does not mean weakness. It means understanding our place in the vastness of life, recognizing that we are not the architects of all things, and accepting that we cannot control everything. Humility allows us to step out of the illusion of self-sufficiency and to invite support, guidance, and help from sources that we may have overlooked. It opens us to the wisdom of others, the synchronicities that appear in our path, and the subtle nudges of intuition that point us toward the choices we are meant to make. Control demands that we act alone, Surrender invites collaboration with the universe, with God, with life itself. Surrender also cultivates peace. When we are obsessed with control, our hearts are restless, our minds are anxious, and our spirits are burdened. We measure every action, calculate every possibility, and fret over every outcome. We forget that some things are beyond our ability to shape, and in the process, we rob ourselves of joy. Surrender releases that burden. It allows the heart to breathe, the mind to rest, and the spirit to rise above fear. Peace is not the absence of challenges. It is the presence of trust, and trust is born when we surrender. When we let go of the need to manipulate outcomes, and instead align ourselves with the flow of life, we discover a calm strength that control could never provide, a clarity that emerges from stillness, and a confidence that comes from knowing that we are being guided. Surrender is not passive. It does not mean inaction or resignation. It means active engagement with life, tempered by wisdom and guided by trust. It means doing what we can, making the choices within our power, and then releasing the results into the hands of the unseen force that is working for our good. It is the balance between effort and acceptance, between action and faith, between striving and letting go. We do our part, and then we step back, confident that the rest is being handled, confident that the solutions we seek are already in motion, and confident that the doors we need to pass through will open at the perfect moment. Every time we surrender, we allow new possibilities to enter. We make room for answers that were previously hidden, for opportunities that were blocked, for blessings that were delayed by our need to control. Surrender shifts the energy of our lives. It shifts our perspective from fear to trust, from scarcity to abundance, from limitation to potential. It transforms our struggles into lessons, our obstacles into gateways, and our waiting into preparation. The power of surrender lies in its ability to align us with the flow of life, to place us in the path of the right people, the right circumstances, and the right solutions at the right time. To surrender is to acknowledge that life is bigger than our plans, that wisdom is greater than our understanding, and that love is more powerful than our fear. It is to open our hands, unclench our hearts, and invite the unseen to work on our behalf. It is to recognize that control cannot create the miracles that surrender allows. It is to step into the current of life with courage, trust, and grace, knowing that the doors we need are already waiting, and that the path we are meant to walk will reveal itself in the fullness of time. Peace is not a distant dream. It is not a prize to be earned or a reward to be granted. It is a state of being, a quiet center within the heart that cannot be shaken by circumstance or fear. Yet so often, we deny ourselves this peace because we cling to the belief that we must have all the answers, that we must understand every detail, predict every outcome, and solve every problem with our own strength. We wander through life burdened by the illusion that our control over events is what keeps us safe, what ensures our happiness, what guarantees that our lives will turn out as we wish. And in that wandering, we lose the serenity that is always available to us. True peace comes not from knowing everything, but from releasing the need to know, from letting go of the relentless insistence on certainty, and from trusting that life is unfolding exactly as it should. We are conditioned to seek answers, to demand clarity, to chase understanding as if our survival depends on it. Questions swirl endlessly in our minds, from the moment we awake to the quiet hours of the night. What will happen next? How will I overcome this challenge? Who will come to my aid? When will my struggle end? And with each question, the mind tightens its grip on worry. The heart grows heavy with tension, and the spirit becomes restless, yearning for certainty that may never fully arrive. But peace is not found in knowing the answers. It is found in releasing the need to possess them. When we let go of the illusion that we must solve everything on our own, when we surrender the obsession with certainty, we create space for the quiet, guiding hand that is already working in our favor to move freely, unhindered by our anxiety and doubt. The act of releasing the need for answers requires courage, for it is counterintuitive. Our instincts tell us to analyze, to plan, to strategize. Our pride whispers that surrender is weakness and that only by controlling every detail can we protect ourselves. Yet, paradoxically, it is precisely in letting go that we find strength. When we release the pressure to know, we allow ourselves to trust, to breathe, and to feel the gentle guidance of life unfolding in ways far beyond our imagination. It is in that surrender that the burdens we carry begin to lighten, the tangled paths we navigate begin to straighten, and the solutions we could not see begin to emerge, quietly and surely, like dawn breaking after a long night. When we insist on having all the answers, we close ourselves to the lessons hidden in uncertainty. Life is rich with mystery, and within that mystery lies opportunity, growth and transformation. The unknown is not empty, it is pregnant with possibility. By clinging to certainty, we may gain a temporary illusion of control, but we also block the flow of wisdom, intuition, and divine timing. Peace, in contrast, flourishes in openness. It blooms in the willingness to say, "I do not know, but I trust." It expands when we accept that we are not required to understand everything, that our understanding is limited, and that the unfolding of life is guided by a wisdom greater than our own. Releasing the need for answers also teaches patience. We begin to recognize that some solutions cannot be forced, some blessings cannot be hurried, and some clarity cannot be rushed. The process itself is sacred, and our role is to participate with grace and faith, to act where we can, and to trust where we cannot. The moments of uncertainty are not wasted, they are preparation, shaping our hearts and minds to receive the goodness that is coming. The waiting is not empty, it is fertile ground where insight grows, courage deepens, and resilience is cultivated. Peace emerges when we align ourselves with this rhythm, when we step out of the frantic need for control and step into trust, knowing that the answers will come in the fullness of time. When we release the need to have all the answers, we also release fear. Fear thrives on uncertainty, feeding on the gaps in our knowledge, the unknowns that loom like shadows over our lives. But faith and trust cut through fear with the quiet certainty that everything is being worked out for our highest good. We do not have to see the entire picture. We do not have to understand every detail. We do not have to control every outcome. When we embrace this truth, fear loses its grip, and peace rises to take its place. We begin to experience life with a lightness that was impossible when we were trapped in the cycle of questioning, doubting, and striving for answers. Peace also transforms the way we interact with the world. When we are desperate for answers, we may grasp at control in our relationships, push for certainty in our work, and demand clarity in every situation. But when we release that need, we bring calm to our interactions. We listen more deeply, we respond with patience, and we act from a place of centeredness rather than anxiety. Our presence becomes a source of calm for others, and our energy becomes aligned with the flow of life instead of resisting it. In surrendering the need to know everything, we invite not only peace into our own hearts, but also harmony into the world around us. Ultimately, releasing the need for answers is an act of trust. It is a declaration that we are not alone, that life is working on our behalf, that the unseen forces guiding us are wiser than our limited perspective. It is an acknowledgement that some things are beyond our comprehension, and that we do not need to carry the weight of the unknown by ourselves. Peace is the reward of that trust. It is the quiet confidence that we are exactly where we are meant to be, that the guidance we seek is already available, and that the solutions we need are unfolding even as we wait. It is the freedom to live fully in the present, to embrace the journey without being consumed by the fear of what is not yet revealed, and to move through life with a heart that is calm, open, and centered.